He said he now also owes $285,000 after he lost hundreds of thousands of dollars. Barry Heighton, 76, explained that he went down a rabbit hole after a call he thought he had placed with a fraud prevention department. Heighton explained how he was swept up in an elaborate scam that had convinced him that his money was unsafe in his bank accounts and retirement funds, according to the New York Times. The retired lawyer said he was unable to log into his 401(k) retirement account in September. He explained that a few days later, the screen on the website advised him to call the fraud department through the number provided on the site. Heigen said his scam ordeal started with this phone call as the criminals on the other end had pretended to be federal agents attempting to save his cash. The first scammer introduced himself as fraud investigator Charles Hunt and claimed people were attempting to access Heiden's accounts. A second fraudster, who introduced himself as Hayden Smith, said he worked at the bank where Hayden had his checking account. Smith said 2 transactions of $10,000 had been made from his funds to purchase apparent indecent imagery through a Chinese site. Hayden said these callers had convinced him that he could be part of an investigation with the government on this. A third scammer, who said his name was Finn Wittrock with the Internal Revenue Service, said Hayden could protect his funds by transferring them into an apparent federal locker. They kept telling me, "This is a big case and we are going to stop a whole ring of people," Hayden said. It was like a rabbit hole. I was going down the hole with them. Hayden then spent most days transferring funds from his bank accounts and retirement fund to these criminals. I then gave them access to my computer, and they started me in a series of withdrawals from my bank's accounts, he said. Hayden added that the scammers had told him to ignore any red flags and not tell his 3 adult children about what he was doing. He was stopped by his retirement advisor when he attempted to withdraw from his IRA, but Hayden said the fraudsters had several excuses ready, like he wanted to buy a surprise property for his children in Canada. When this did not work, Hayden transferred his money to another IRA, which he drained in 2 weeks. His lawyer, Robert Rabinowitz, slammed this new financial provider for allowing the funds to be drained like this. This type of activity is a classic sign of potential money laundering activity and should have raised red flags, Rabinowitz said. The ordeal did not end there, as Hayden said these scammers then told him to send money to a gold dealer in New York to purchase goods, he told the New York Times. He recalled the dealer saying he was concerned as he had dealt with another customer who was scammed in a similar way, but Hayden continued to purchase around $416,000 worth of gold. Hayden added that a car then drove to his apartment and he placed the gold into a brown paper bag in the back seat of the vehicle. The scam ended in November when he was called by a detective in New Jersey who said she found his details on a paper receipt for gold in a car. After he was put into contact with 2 FBI agents, he was told he was one of 7 victims of an elaborate scam based in India. "I almost had a letdown or a sense of relief," he said when he realized he had been scammed. "I felt good and bad at the same time. It is hard to explain." His ordeal did not end there, as Hayden added that he owes nearly $285,000 in taxes. Withdrawals on traditional IRAs are always taxed, and his fees have added up from his mass removals of cash.